Does Disneyland have an attendance problem right now? And why haven't we heard more about the annual passholder replacement program? I've been seeing quite a few videos that are talking on these subjects, and a lot of them are saying, yes, there's an attendance issue, and talking more about all these things. And I don't necessarily know that I agree. So I'm just gonna share with you my thoughts on this, and please feel free in the comments to share your thoughts on this. Maybe you completely disagree with everything I'm saying, maybe you do agree. This is just me sharing my thoughts and observations that I've seen. As always, make sure that you like and subscribe so you can get more videos, and check us out on all our social media platforms and our website to get all of our information to help you when it comes to planning and preparing for your Disneyland trips. All right, so does Disneyland have an attendance issue? The other videos say yes, drawing mostly on the fact that since the parks have reopened, Disneyland has not been consistently very busy. In fact, if anything, it's had more slow days than it's had busy days, particularly since they allowed non-California residents to visit. They've also pointed to the fact that they've recently started a new offer for California residents to come to the parks at a very discounted rate for the next couple of months. And so they're saying this is proof that no one's coming to Disneyland, they're really freaking out, and the only solution is to bring back that replacement for the annual passholder program. I don't see it that way. If people were to ask me, does Disneyland have an attendance problem right now or a crowd issue right now? I would say no. And no, I'm not just talking about the fact that there have been crowded days. Like, just take a couple of days ago on July 17th, Disneyland's birthday. It was crazy crowded from everything that I could see. They do have these busy days, and those are not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is the fact that this is the first time in decades that Disneyland has not had an annual passholder program. And so this is just them getting used to what it's like if they don't have guests that are able to come back whenever they would like without having to pay again for it. I mean, this is the boat that we're in right now too, that we are legacy pass holders, but now every time we go, we have to pay again. We're not used to that, so we're not gonna be going as often as we normally do. And we are not the only ones in that boat. There's a lot of people that feel that way. They would normally go there like every weekend. They can't afford to do that now. And so they're going much less frequently. And so of course, that means that the crowds are going to be lower than they normally would be during a summer month. Typically, 2019 and further back, the summer months were always really crowded, mostly because of those annual pass holders. They would come all the time during the summer. And it's not like I'm saying blaming anyone for that. School's out, it's a hot summer day, so who wouldn't love to just spend it around at Disneyland? But now they don't have that. And so the crowds are gonna act differently, and they're just learning when they will come to the parks, how often they will come. This is just them learning. I think that someone in Disneyland would have to be, forgive my French, stupid to implement something like this and not expect that crowds are going to be lower. Of course crowds are going to be less. You just canceled the annual pass program. I think that the only reason that they added that offer for Southern California residents was because that made up the bulk of their annual pass holders, and they're just seeing if maybe they can milk 1 or 2 extra visits out of them if the tickets didn't cost so much. That's all. I mean, this offer only extends for a couple of months anyway. It's not like it's going in perpetuity forever. So this is just them looking and seeing how things are going, experimenting. And that actually leads into the next part about the replacement for the annual pass holder program. The rumors that we have heard is that they are planning to implement the new program starting probably in January, just after the holiday season. Now that's meaning like when they want it to take effect. So they would probably sell them before then. And we can probably expect to hear the details on how the program will work, probably early autumn, like September, October-ish. It could be earlier, it could be later, but somewhere right there I think is a good estimate on when we can expect to hear about it. And so right now, they can look at how crowds act and use that as information for their upcoming annual passholder replacement program. We all kind of figure it's going to use reservations, similar to the Flex Pass, and the fact that right now everyone has to make reservations. I mentioned in an earlier video, I don't think that they're going to be going away. I think that this is going to be here possibly permanently. And it makes sense for them. And so they can see how the crowds are now with no annual pass holders and use that to create the calendar for the replacement. And so that they can get an idea of how many reservations to hold for these annual pass holders. I don't know what else to call them right now, but for those annual pass holders next year. And even up to the holiday season, that's probably gonna go without that replacement program because they wanna see how people come to the parks if they have to pay every time. One thing that I've heard in these same videos that I just don't agree with is that they've said that Disneyland does not care if the parks are super crowded every single day, and in fact that they would like it. And so that's why they're struggling right now, because attendance is lower, they're not super packed every day, and so that's hurting them financially, and they just want to get as many people packed into the parks every day as possible. It's true that from a financial point of view, Disneyland really doesn't care if every day is cram-packed. If they are at full capacity every single day, they are making a lot of money off of ticket sales, food, merchandise, all that. However, guest satisfaction tends to go down on those days. And if guest satisfaction is down, they are not as likely to come back a lot or at all. And yeah, on those lower capacity days, they're almost dead. Yeah, they're not bringing in a lot of money. There's not a lot of ticket sales, not much food going on. However, guest satisfaction is way up and they're likely to come back, and that's what they want, are people to keep coming back. I believe that where Disney likes to have everything is somewhere in that happy medium. It's not super crowded, it's also not dead, it's somewhere in between, where guest satisfaction is still high, but they're still making a lot of money off of tickets and all that other stuff that I mentioned. So right now, they're just learning about how crowds will come just on their own. And then they can use that in the new annual pass replacement program to help even out those days. When they bring in those other guests again, they can try to make all the days more even. They'll still have crazy packed days, they'll still have more dead days, but they would love to have more of them in the middle, because that's when everyone is happy, and when they're happy, they're more likely to spend more money. That's my thoughts on this. I think that this summer is something that we're probably never gonna see again, and it's just all a big experiment on us right now. And you know, take it for what you will. Maybe you don't agree with that at all. And that's okay. These are just my thoughts and musings on it, but I think that this all kind of plays into what we can expect to see in the future in the parks and how things are gonna play out. And hopefully, they're gonna be able to figure this out so that we won't see what we used to see before COVID of just like crazy, crazy, crazy busy days all the time. And instead have it more where it's just moderately busy most of the time. I don't know about you, I would rather see those days anyway. Those days are always so much better than the days where you can't walk around. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, leave in the comments your musings on this, your thoughts. Maybe it's completely different, maybe you think the same thing, maybe you even know more information than I do, which is totally likely. But just let me know, and also if you have any questions about anything or other concerns or suggestions for anything that you have. And as always, I mentioned, visit us on our website, Facebook, Instagram. We have so much more information to share with you guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but thanks all for watching, and we will see you guys next week. All right, bye.